When you've spent 20 years becoming an expert in your field, the Zen concept of beginner's mind can sound like a step backward or even an insult. It sounds like being told to be naive, to forget your hard-won experience, or to ignore the very knowledge that makes you valuable. But what if that's not it at all? What if beginner's mind is not about erasing your expertise? What if it's the only way to unlock it from the rigid box it has created, and the only way to find the innovation you're looking for? Hello, and thank you for joining our conversation here at the Mindful Compass. Today, we're talking about a profound challenge for anyone who is a master of their craft. How do you practice Shoshin, or beginner's mind, when you are, by definition, an expert? Your expertise is your greatest asset. It's a vast library of patterns, solutions, and best practices. But this library, over time, can become a trap. You begin to see only what your experience tells you is possible. You see every new problem through the lens of an old solution. This is efficient, but it is the absolute death of innovation. Beginner's mind is the path to seeing the problem, not as your library defines it, but as it actually is. The classic Zen teaching says, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities. In the expert's mind, there are few. Your expert mind is full. The beginner's mind is empty. How can you be both? Here is an analogy for this practice. The analogy, the jar of marbles. Your expert mind is like a glass jar, packed full of beautiful, hard-won marbles. Each marble is a success, a piece of knowledge, a skill, a past solution. Your jar is impressive. It's heavy. It's full to the brim. When a new problem appears, your expert habit is to reach into the jar and pull out the same marble you've used before. This is a blue marble problem. Solved. The problem is, the jar is so full there is no space, no room for air or light or a new idea. You can only see the marbles. Beginner's mind is not throwing the jar away. It is not smashing it. It is the simple, intentional, and humble act of tipping the jar over and gently pouring all your marbles out onto the floor, just for a moment. Your expertise isn't gone. All the marbles are still right there. But now, you can see them in a new light. You can see the spaces between them. You can see them in new combinations. You might even discover a marble you'd forgotten you had. This is innovation. You are looking at the same knowledge, but with fresh eyes. So, what does tipping the jar over look like in a boardroom? It is the courage to do the one thing an expert is terrified of doing, to not know. The full jar? Expert mind walks into a meeting and says, I've seen this before. Here's the answer. It shuts down conversation. The tipped jar, beginners. Mind walks in and says, I have some experience here, but let's assume we know nothing. What are the dumb questions we're afraid to ask? Innovation lives in the dumb questions. Why are we even doing this in the first place? What if we're wrong about our core assumption? What if the problem we're trying to solve isn't the real problem? As the expert, you are the only one with the power to create this space. By being the first to say, I don't know, you give everyone on your team permission to be curious. And that is where the new idea is born. This is a simple practice to use in your next meeting, especially one where you feel you already know the answer. I call this the what-if assumption. 1. You are in the meeting. You feel your expert mind lock in. You feel that full jar certainty. 2. Pause, just for a breath. Acknowledge, The expert mind is here. 3. Intentionally tip the jar over. Ask the group, or just yourself, one what-if question that challenges your primary assumption. What if our customer doesn't want this? What if the limitation we all accept isn't real? What if the opposite of our plan is the right answer? You are not looking for the answer to that question. You are using the question as a key to unlock the room and let the fresh air of innovation in. Beginner's mind is not the absence of expertise. It is the mastery of it. It is the supreme confidence to be able to set your knowledge down, to hold it lightly, so that you can see the world with the open, curious, and wondrous eyes of a beginner. That is where the many possibilities live, and that is where the breakthrough is waiting. This is the practice of the true master. First, please share this video with a colleague, a mentor, or a teammate, someone whose expertise you respect and who you want to explore this with. Second, in the comments, I'd love to know, what is one marble, one assumption, or best practice in your field that you could tip out onto the floor this week? And third, if you find this path of inquiry valuable and wish to continue these conversations, I warmly invite you to subscribe and follow our channel. Thank you for joining this conversation. May you be well. May you be peaceful. And may you have the great courage to set down what you know and the wonder to see what's truly possible.